The waves whispered their eerie secrets as the massive cruise ship cut through the inky blackness of the night. The moon's feeble glow painted a ghostly sheen over the water's surface, casting long, haunting shadows that seemed to dance to the mournful cries of the wind. I stood at the ship's railing, peering out into the abyss, a shiver tracing a path down my spine. Little did I know that this voyage would take an unthinkable turn into the depths of terror. As passengers reveled in the luxurious embrace of the ship, I found myself drawn to the desolate expanse of the deck. The air was thick with an unnatural chill, seeping through my clothes and numbing my skin. A haunting melody floated on the wind, barely audible yet strangely entrancing. I followed its mournful tune, my heart pounding with a mix of fascination and unease. Soon, I stumbled upon a group of fellow passengers huddled together, their eyes wide with fear. They spoke in hushed tones, recounting a tale that sent shivers down my spine. A legend, they said, whispered among the crew in fearful secrecy. The legend of the Siren's Lullaby. Long ago, a cruise ship much like this one had ventured into these same waters. One fateful night, the crew and passengers were lured by a hauntingly beautiful song, a melody that promised solace and comfort. Entranced, they followed the siren's call, their ship sailing into an eerie fog that swallowed them whole. They were never seen again, disappearing into the clutches of the sea. Since then, it was said that the siren's lullaby echoed through these waters, calling out to unsuspecting souls to join its watery embrace. Despite my growing unease, I couldn't shake off the morbid fascination that gripped me. It was as though the very air was charged with an otherworldly energy, a pull that drew me closer to the heart of the legend. With hesitant steps, I ventured further into the ship's labyrinthine corridors, each creak and groan of the ship's structure amplifying the sense of foreboding. The melody grew louder, its haunting notes vibrating through the walls. My breath caught in my throat as I came upon a door slightly ajar, a soft glow seeping through the crack. I pushed it open, revealing a room bathed in an ethereal blue light. Before me stood a grand piano, its keys moving as if played by invisible hands. And there, sitting at the piano, was a figure so mesmerizing that my heart skipped a beat. She was beautiful, a vision that seemed to blur the lines between reality and dream. Her long, dark hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her eyes glowed like the sea under the moonlight. Her fingers danced effortlessly over the keys, coaxing the enchanting melody that had woven its spell around the ship. I was entranced, unable to tear my gaze away from her. "Join us." Her voice, like the softest whisper of the wind, reached my ears. "Join us in the depths where all sorrows are forgotten." Her words held an irresistible allure, a promise of release from the burdens of the world. I took a step forward, the rational part of my mind warring with the inexplicable pull she held over me. The room seemed to spin, the walls closing in as her song grew louder, more insistent. In that moment, it was as though nothing else existed except for her and the haunting melody that consumed me. But then, a memory flashed before my eyes. The huddled group of passengers, the fear in their eyes, the warning of the siren's lullaby. With a tremendous effort, I tore my gaze away from the siren's enchanting presence and stumbled backward, my heart pounding in my chest. The room seemed to darken, the melody growing discordant and filled with a maddening fury. The siren's visage twisted, her beauty contorting into a monstrous form as her song turned into a deafening scream of rage. The walls seemed to close in on me, the very air thick with malice. I turned and fled from the room, the memory of that nightmarish transformation burning into my mind. As I burst out onto the deck, gasping for air, I realized that the ship was no longer sailing smoothly. The once calm waters had turned turbulent, the waves rising like monstrous creatures hungry for prey. Panic rippled through the passengers as the ship was tossed and turned, the siren's lullaby echoing in the air, mocking our desperate struggle. In the chaos that followed, I clung to the railing, my heart heavy with dread. The ship groaned and creaked as it was dragged under, the siren's malevolent laughter mingling with the roaring waves. And then, with a bone-chilling finality, the ship was pulled beneath the water's surface, disappearing into the abyss. I was left floating in the frigid waters, the haunting melody still ringing in my ears. As I struggled to stay afloat, I knew that I had narrowly escaped the clutches of the siren's lullaby, a fate that had befallen so many before me. The sea was relentless, its depth swallowing the ship and its ill-fated passengers, a grim reminder of the horrors that lurked beneath the surface. And to this day, I can still hear that haunting melody in my dreams, a reminder of the nightmarish cruise that turned into a journey of unspeakable horror.